The short that resembles when I see that they put each person of color in the films in a dress eventually in Korea. I'll be associated like why this multitude of young ladies must wear dresses that has happened to me. Definitely man they hate doing it to the white young men they doing it today. I'm doing their hands like this stark manliness has forever been a danger to white the white larger part. It generally has been to take a straight man and make them wear ladies' garments. That is all there is to it's not right. Dave Chappelle has forever been one to express his genuine thoughts, yet as of late, what he expressed stayed with the public. In light of how odd it was, Dave made sense of that Hollywood was making individuals of color wear dresses for distinction. And that is how Will Smith is supposedly treating his child Jaden for popularity and lifespan in the business. Yet every person of color in the motion pictures in a dress sooner or later in their vocation. I've been associating them they're similar to wow these siblings have to wear dress. This happened to me, as per Dave Chappelle. It was way simpler when individuals of color were undermined and viewed as feeble to their partners. For them to become renowned, and for their popularity to remain for long, this should have been visible in Jaden Smith, who began wearing dresses in 2015. And after a year, he had the option to sack an arrangement with Louis Vuitton in the women's segment. Jaden Smith raised a ton of eyebrows with his strong design decisions. And his adoration for skirts even landed him a gig as the new substance of Louis Vuitton ladies wear, with the youthful star's father, Will Smith, feeling glad for his child's eccentric style. In an internal view, with BBC's An Additional One, Smith kidded that he and his significant other, Jada Pinkett Smith, could have committed an error in raising Jaden, and they might have gone excessively far. Yet he then immediately quit fooling around with how he feels, guaranteeing he was glad for his child. He could have spilled some reality with his joke, since we have seen him power kissing his child on various events, and that probably won't have been the most effective way to bring up his kids. As somebody who has been in the business for some time and knows how Hollywood treats individuals of color, he ought to have had a remark about his child. And to wear dresses and skirts, the arrangement ought to have been him in a menswear area wearing a skirt, and not the ladies' segment. Will Smith said you must be happy with doing things that you could fizzle at. Jaden is 100 valiant. He will do anything as a parent. It's frightening. It's truly unnerving. Yet he is totally able to reside and pass on by his creative choices. And he doesn't fret about individuals' thought process. Will had additionally added that while the principles were somewhat unique for his sister Willow, since she was a teen young lady, he and Jada had attempted to guarantee she had as much opportunity as her more established siblings, including Smith's child from a past marriage fate. As per the family, at first Will Smith wasn't excessively excited about Jaden fiddling with all the more customarily ladylike, and Jada Pinkett Smith, his significant other, even conceded that her significant other had his sentiments about Jaden wearing skirts and dresses when he began exploring different avenues regarding design collectively. As per Candace, after the Will Smith and Rock Oscar rested, she had asserted that Will himself was being castrated by his own significant other, who took him to the red table and had him concede that it was acceptable for her to have had a relationship out of their marriage. Candace had claimed that Jada was the one that was making Will to a lesser extent a man, and she could have additionally been the person who persuaded him when he could have done without his child wearing dresses, talking on her Facebook series Red Casual Conversation alongside her children Jaden and Willow, and mother Adrienne Banfield Norris. Jada had said of Will he has his sentiments on that. Without a doubt I recollect Will calling me and resembling. Have you discussed this, Jaden and him? No doubt I have. He's really blissful about it. Appears to be that at last Will came around to the thought, and Jada was truly glad for her kid for getting through orientation standards. She said I give Jaden props, adding that it was fearless for her child to wear skirts, being a dark young fellow, and the child of like a uber manly hip-bound star. Jada additionally examined Jaden's justification behind wearing female garments, making sense of that. Jaden had discussed needing to wear skirts to give kids the opportunity, to give others the opportunity to consider out the container for them, and not feel like in doing that they would be harassed or be gone after here and there. She could have had a good brain perspective on her child and all that he had achieved in the style world. Yet she appeared to fail to remember that for a really long time men in a similar industry as her had to wear dresses to make it. Dave was among the dark comics who wouldn't wear a dress since he felt that he didn't require one to be amusing and make it in his calling. This part of Chappelle's protection from Hollywood's easygoing endeavors to get him into a dress was neglected by the news media. In covering the Oprah interview, Chappelle had said, "I see that they put each person of color in the motion pictures in a dress sooner or later in his vocation." It was during a scene with Martin Lawrence in Blue Streak, when the essayist had Chappelle's personality getting masked as a whore, yet he would not do it. "I'm not doing that," he said. "I feel awkward with it." The producer continued, asserting that every one of the incomparable humorists and entertainers had done it before him, yet Dave stayed resolved that he wouldn't wear the dress in the wake of diving in his heels. Chappelle was told about the creation cash's opposition was costing consistently, yet the comic endured. "I needn't bother with a dress to be amusing." He got out whatever. M.I. Milton Burley, the chief and maker, were acquired as exchanges raised, and the chief guaranteed that it would be perfect assuming Dave wore a dress. The dress was non-debatable until Chappelle clarified that "I'm not wearing a dress." Similarly, as unexpectedly, the scriptwriters withdrew to their PCs and modified the scene for Chappelle without including the dress. And Dave asserted that all he did was remove a position, venturing from the $50 million offer for his funny TV show. Likewise seemed to have been such a position, since he had wound up in the possession of youthful white scholars, makers, and overseers, with no hint about the embodiment of his parody. All Dave said about his position against the dress was that he didn't believe that individuals of color should be disheartened in him. Tom Hanks, Robin Williams, Adam Sandler, David Duchovny, John Travolta, and Dustin Hoffman followed various ways to fame, yet the entertainers' processes all share one piece of clothing. Practically speaking, every one of them eventually expressed yes to the dress. The entertainers have all showed up in portrayals or jobs in which they have shaken gowns, continuing in the practice of Milton Berle Sway Trust and other exemplary performers. The majority of their dress decision have been the entertainer's vocation. Features with Hoffman being named for an Oscar for Tootsie Mrs. Doubtfire being a raving success for Williams, and Hanks' initial Best Pals sitcom job being the takeoff platform for his ascent to tip-top Hollywood status. It additionally reached the place where male humorists showing up in drag apparently turned into a widespread allure that was being utilized to cut across social lines, with Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence, Jamie Foxx, Kenan Thompson of Saturday Night Live, and Tyler Perry among the African-American entertainers who had created Chuckles by dressing in drag. Their tricks and dresses presented to them a ton of popularity and affirmation. Yet in spite of the prevalence of their work, a few spectators inside and outside African-American inventive circles said the website of dark male entertainers in drag additionally conveyed disturbing social stuff. They thought the exaggerations were a serious issue and not